In a world where the spotlight often blinds as much as it illuminates, there are those who step into it not to shine for themselves, but to light the way for others. Welcome to Born to Win Legend, the place where we honor the journeys of those who rose from the shadows, defied the odds, and built empires from dreams. Today, we share the story of a girl who carried a voice, a fire, and a vision that could not be silenced. From the ashes of war to the stages of the world, this is the story of Dua Lipa. She was born on August 22, 1995, in London to Kosovar Albanian parents who had fled conflict and uncertainty in the Balkans. Her father, Dukajin, and her mother, Anisa, had to rebuild their lives from scratch. They worked multiple jobs. They fought silently behind smiles. They never stopped believing in something better. And they raised a daughter who inherited their resilience. Dua grew up with music in her blood. Her father had once been a rock singer in Kosovo, and their home was filled with the sound of music, from Western pop to Albanian soul. But for Dua, music wasn't just entertainment. It was identity. It was hope. It was the only thing that made sense in a world that kept changing around her. At the age of 11, she moved with her family back to Kosovo. It was a difficult transition. New place, new school, new insecurities. She was an outsider trying to fit in, but even in unfamiliar surroundings, her dreams didn't waver. She kept writing songs. She kept singing. She kept believing that somehow she would find her way back to the music scene that lived in her heart. At just 15, she made a decision that would change everything. She convinced her parents to let her move back to London alone. A teenage girl in a giant city with no promise, no safety net, and nothing but faith. She studied music, worked as a waitress to pay rent, and posted cover songs on YouTube, hoping that anyone might listen, and someone did. Her raw, smoky voice and natural charisma caught the attention of producers. She wasn't polished, she wasn't perfect, but she was real, and that was her power. At 19, she signed with Warner Music Group. While others were trying to sound like someone else, Dua made a promise to stay authentic. Her music wasn't just about dance floors. It was about rising above fear, heartbreak, doubt, and silence. Her debut single, New Love, set the tone. It wasn't just a pop song, it was a declaration. Then came Be the One, a track that ignited a fire across Europe. Slowly, the world started paying attention, but she wasn't an overnight success. She worked, she toured, she performed on tiny stages with barely any crowd. She faced criticism for her dancing, her image, her voice. People doubted her, questioned her, tried to box her in, but Dua Lipa doesn't fit in boxes. She breaks them. Her debut album in 2017 exploded with hits like IDGAF and New Rules. Those songs became anthems for independence, for courage, for knowing your worth and walking away from anything that tries to dim your light. Women around the world listened and felt seen, heard, empowered. And Dua kept rising. In 2020, while the world was sinking into uncertainty, she dropped Future Nostalgia, an album full of fearless, retro-infused pop that made people dance even in the darkest times. With hits like Don't Start Now, Physical, and Levitating, she didn't just cement her place in music, she changed the shape of it. She brought disco back, but with a 21st century bite. Her sound became global, her vision unstoppable. But it wasn't just her music that spoke volumes. It was her message. She stood up for refugees, for women, for LGBTQ+ communities. She never forgot her roots, never hid her heritage, never stopped being proud of where she came from. She returned to Kosovo, supported educational programs, celebrated her culture on world stages, and even launched the Sunny Hill Foundation with her father to help youth back home chase their dreams. Because Dua knows what it means to have a dream, and to have no clear path to reach it. Through it all, the awards, the headlines, the fame, she stayed grounded, focused, fierce. She made mistakes, faced judgment, felt pressure. But she never let any of it steal her voice. Dua Lipa is not just a pop star. She's a revolution dressed in sequins. A warrior wrapped in rhythm. A girl who walked into the unknown alone and came out carrying the sound of a generation. So if you've ever felt like you don't belong, if you've ever been told you're not enough, if your dream feels too big for your reality, remember this. Dua Lipa once walked those same streets with empty pockets and a full heart. She had every reason to quit, but she didn't. She kept going. She kept singing. And the world finally listened. This is Born to Win legend. If Dua Lipa's story reminded you that courage is louder than fear and authenticity is your greatest power, subscribe now. Because your rhythm matters, your voice matters, and your story is still unfolding just like hers. Asterisk.